All right, hello everybody. This is our next episode of Industry Insights. We're here with Molly from Lightbox. As always, my name is Mike Kimmel. I am the graduate assistant for the employer engagement team here at the Center for Career and Professional Development.
And hi, my name is Beatriz Suro, and I'm the graduate assistant for the career education team here at the Career Center.
Great. And Molly, do you mind introducing yourself and just saying a little bit about Lightbox?
Yeah, definitely. So, hi, my name is Molly, and I'm super excited to be here and talk a little bit about LightBox. LightBox is a commercial real estate data and technology company. So we deliver data, insights, and workflow tools to participants in the commercial real estate sector. We work with large full-service companies like CBRE and JLL, as well as banks, lenders, and small environmental agencies. And at the heart of our business model and delivery systems, we're a data company. So whether you're looking for data on properties, zoning, traffic, taxes, Lightbox is your source. So we aggregate the data in various forms to provide actionable insights to our customers. And although a lot of people may not have heard of the company Lightbox, we actually power providers like Google, Uber, Waze. So we're actually at the heart of those technologies powering the experience.
Great, well, thank you.
Can you tell us what are the skills and competencies that you look for in prospective candidates?
Yeah, so the skills and competencies that we are looking for in prospective candidates are people who have a passion for data and how that data can be used to enhance decisions in commercial real estate. So more specifically, people who are interested in creating more accessible data and analytics, people who are intellectually curious, humble, hungry, gritty, and smart, as well as people who are comfortable with change, welcome challenges, and appreciate an entrepreneur spirit.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, next question. So what makes an employee at your company stand out?
The key to standing out at Lightbox is just the willingness to jump into a project, be flexible, do your own research, ask questions when you don't know something, and not be afraid to learn or make a mistake. Given the nature and size of the company, it's encouraged to try new things and really not be scared to ask questions, which I think is very similar to how Lehigh is as a school, which I think is super cool. And yeah, the best growth definitely comes when you're willing to expand your scope, and that's definitely encouraged at Lightbox.
Yeah, that's great. So what would be an example of an employee, kind of taking something, asking a question about it?
So for example, I have done a lot of work in human resources, and I've been pulled into some of the marketing stuff. I majored in psychology. I don't know anything about marketing. And of course, new to the job, I was like, I really want to do a great job with this, but I figured it would be better to slow down and really ask, what was expected, what they needed from me, as opposed to just jumping in and making that mistake. I really understood, and that was super encouraged. I wasn't, embarrassed for not having known the information before. It was a really great learning experience. So yeah, that's definitely encouraged.
Yeah, that just sounds like a great, skill to incorporate, or just action to incorporate for new hires. Just if you feel that you don't know something, just reaching out and asking, because that shows that, you're really interested in doing your job right, and you want to make sure that it goes right. So
yeah.
Yeah, and even like talking to other new hires as well about their experience, and that's also makes it less daunting to go and ask questions to the new employers.
Yeah, it's funny. I do a lot of 30, 60, 90-day check-ins with new hires, and I kid you not, every single new employee that I've spoken with is like, I feel comfortable asking questions. The team is so responsive, and I think that says so much about the company.
How would you construct feedback? And because it can be, I've had to give 30, 60, 90 reviews. And so what's something that you can practice or you'd recommend for a new hire, and really taking the advice and the feedback to improve an area of improvement?
From my end, or as a new employee?
Sorry, if you're giving, so say you're giving feedback to a new hire for the 30-day. what's advice for really taking it and, reflecting on it and not taking it so personally?
Well, I track all of the, questions that I'm asking just to gauge, how satisfied, how comfortable people are within their teams. So it's a really great way to kind of know what's going on outside of my particular department. And from there, it's really just conversation. So if somebody expresses, I'm still getting acclimated to my team, I don't know how to do this, like that just opens a door to more conversations about how to better the experience and what's missing, which I think is huge. And I think that's super important when you're starting at a new company to have that resource.
Okay. The next question, how does your company incorporate diversity, equity, and inclusion into their workplace culture and hiring practices?
Yeah, that's a great question. So our company does a really good job when it comes to diversity, equity, and inclusion. We actually recently launched this summer our Diversity and Inclusion Council. And the overall goals of that council is to share information, resources, and learning opportunities just for all employees. Our council hosts lunch and learns, which brings in different speakers to share experiences either in the real estate sector or outside of it. And in terms of hiring practices, we have members of the council that are actually designated to recruiting efforts. So they're looking to reach out to more diverse candidates. And this is an ongoing effort. We're building on it, we're learning from it. And additionally, we're posting on over 25 diverse websites as part of just natural outreach when we have an open position. So there's a huge effort to, reach all types of candidates and include them in.
So the lunch and learns, that sounds like a great way to take something that could be, a heavier, difficult topic and putting in an atmosphere where it's like, hey, come sit down, come learn about this, the multitude of diversity topics. So can you provide an example of, one of those topics?
Yeah, so we actually, for mental health awareness, we had a therapist speaker come in and just talk about stress management, give resources, stuff like that, as well as a time for Q&A. And after, we were able to pass on the therapist's email address. So if people had questions that they didn't want to ask in front of the whole company, that was also a resource. And we got really great feedback from that. I think just having that as a resource, people really tend to take advantage of.
I know, what is the feedback that you receive from the resources that you guys have been offering in the workplace? Yeah.
The feedback that we received from a lot of the lunch and learns is just people are excited to learn about new topics. So for example, we had a transgender CEO of a company come and speak, and they were speaking about their position. It wasn't, super LGBTQ focused, but it really led to a greater discussion about what that looks like in the workforce and that person's particular experience. And I think just exposure to that, I think a lot of it stems from just lack of education and resources. So I think providing that to employees goes a really long way.
Yeah, sounds like a neat event.
Yeah, it's a great way to utilize that time and really give a space for it, rightly deserved, right? So. So for number 5, how is employee feedback collected and used to further your company's mission or goals?
So as I mentioned earlier, the 30, 60, 90-day check-ins happen for all new hires. And this is really just a place for new hires to share their experiences, things that have been going well, things that might have been more difficult, resources that they might want or would have been nice to have in the future. And so it's really helpful on our end to just know that and be able to implement that moving forward. And we also conduct a pulse survey that looks for employee feedback, engagement, suggestions. And we then take this information and just work on how to build that and the different ideas that employees have and just really better the company.
A little bit about those results from the pulse surveys.
Yeah, so I guess I'll go into, some of what I asked. But for somebody in their first 30 days, it's how satisfied are you? How comfortable are you with your team so far? Is there any resources that would be helpful for you to have? What's going well? What's been a challenge so far? Stuff like that. And, we measure all of that with Qualtrics, but it's nice because it's data, but we're also having a discussion about it, which is super cool and gives them a space to talk about that.
So that's great.
That's great. And that was going to be my question too. So, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I can ask the last one. I guess like, what are some of the ways that interested students can connect with your company or representatives?
Yeah, so definitely, follow us on LinkedIn, Twitter, reach out on LinkedIn. If you, see a position or role that you're interested in, reach out. I mean, we love to hear and have those conversations, so don't be scared to do that at all. We encourage it. I actually think we're going to have a technology talk at Lehigh, so if you're interested in Lightbox, definitely come to that, as well as I think we're going to try and attend the job fair in February. So, if you have any interest in learning a bit more, definitely come out and have that conversation.
Are there any ways that Lightbox is looking to get involved, either through like conversations over coffee or more informal ways, that either a group of students or a single student can reach out to a representative just to find out more?
Yeah, so I think we're actually working on developing both an externship and an internship. So what an externship is, it's only a few days of just shadowing a specific role. So, for example, if you're interested in software engineering, great, we want to develop a program where you can kind of see a day or two in the life of a software engineer, the highs, the lows, what it entails, general tasks in more of an informal way than, a full summer internship.
Great. Yeah, that sounds awesome. And what is the most important piece of advice for students who are preparing to graduate?
So I just graduated this past spring, and my mom told me this growing up and all throughout college, and I was like, no, you don't get it. But my most important piece of advice for students is keep an open mind. And I think there's a huge pressure to know exactly what you want to do and where you're going to go and that particular career path. And sometimes that doesn't happen, and that's okay. Your first job out of college will probably not be, the last job that you have. And there's so much room to develop and change and grow and be exposed to new roles. And I think just accepting that and understanding that is huge. So keep networking. If you see something that's interesting, do a little bit more research on it, ask friends, reach out to employers, have those conversations. I promise from the employer side, we want to do that as well. So start somewhere and be open to just different experiences, because any experience that you have, you'll learn something from.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you for your time, Molly. I appreciate it. We really enjoyed learning about Lightbox. I'm sure the students will as well. I will be sure to timestamp all the questions, as well as put your different social media links in this description so students can follow, they can reach out, they can get involved with Lightbox if that's their interest. Yeah, but thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you.